Well, hello and a warm welcome to everyone, all our viewers across the world. We got our opponent today from Slovenia, Boris Trokar, and let's see what kind of game we're going to end up with. Is he going to play f5? No, he's playing a more somber semi-Slav with an early bishop d6 instead of knight bd7, and because of that nuance, I'm going to also play bishop d3 rather than queen c2, as I would have played had he done this. And I'm also going to break the pawn center open without castling, because if he wants to check me, then he's making two moves with the bishop. So it's a small tempo gain, but it all counts, you see, it all counts. Now I'm wondering if I should capture here or do something a bit more exotic. Exotic feels incorrect. But it also feels hyper aggressive in a way that we want to play. We want to get hyper aggressive now. We want to be absolute warriors. I want to be having no fear. That's what I want to play. H4. Can I? Oh, I did it. I did it already. Sorry. I know it's not the best move. Don't tell me something I don't know. But it's definitely a hostile way to play, and this is the hostile way to play when you haven't yet castled. You have the rook flank and all of this pointing at him. Now all we got to do is make room for the queen to come in and try to deliver the finishing touches. Uh, the spawn stuff, I don't know. I don't really buy it. We can probably continue with this plan, even though I don't have the finishing touch really. I really don't know what my finishing touch is going to be because he's got two knights that are honing in there, so I'm not really sure. If I were him, I would think rook e8 is a lovely move. Knight f8 is an even nicer move. Uh, you know, it feels like it's just losing the plot there. Let's keep the pressure going. Keep the pressure going. I don't want to allow this either. We want to potentially castle queenside. Keep the pressure going. That's when you choose a certain persona that you're going to play with, you oftentimes have to run that all the way down the line. You can't just change stripes midway through. I mean, you can obviously if it makes sense to, but generally speaking, once you've gone buckwheat all in, you kind of like have to follow through. In this case, we haven't done it quite so perfectly. I'll admit that. It takes a brave man to admit when he's wrong, and that's what we're doing here. We're seeing pressure building up on him, but I think now, having seen that my plan has failed, this whole mating, checkmating thing hasn't really come to fruition. So now I'm going to rescind the knight sack offer. All right, I'm going to take it away because now I'm giving a queen trade offer, and I don't want him to trade queens favorably. He would have traded queens favorably if he could have delivered a check right after, but now he doesn't have that. So, well, the best he's got going for him is this little petty little check. And if we try to block it, I don't think it's so good. So I'm going to just step aside. So we have an interesting positional setup here. 3 pawns versus 4 pawns on this side of the board and 3 versus 2 on the other side. So this is where our pawn side majority is. That's where we're going to try to win the end game, okay? His king is here, it's not there. So these 3 pawns might be able to do something special. If they are given enough encouragement and support from the captain, of course, that goes without saying. But this is what we're talking about. And now he's playing a little bit tentatively. Doesn't have a good development option. He might try this. Okay, he doesn't do that approach either. He's trying to come here, but this knight forces him into an uncomfortable question now on what he wants to do. Okay, and he's choosing to stick around. That's a clever choice indeed. Clever choice, but this knight is now rather well placed. It is defending the bishop, so I didn't have to do it with the king, but I am doing it anyway. As I try to figure out the next option. Now, here he comes. Okay, so let's take an opportunity to grow, and let's let him take care of all the attacking and all of that type of stuff. We are putting pressure. That's what we're doing. We're putting pressure and we're disrupting the setup, aren't we? I think let's just disrupt the setup a little bit. Not in a major way or anything, but sufficiently enough. And now comes the question, do we try to do this? He's got this stuff coming up soon, and that could change the whole complexion of the game actually. So let's finally this. Okay, let's come here. Let's go here. Let's take the open file if he tries to wiggle away somewhere. Else we just captured back. This kind of move, I think I'll play this. Now this I can actually consider now. But I think I need to centralize my king a little bit more still. King is fairly central, and now how to ensure that my king can make it to that pawn? How do I ensure that? This I definitely capture. Create a new isolated pawn. That's very good news. Now a king can go and hit either one, but of course he can still defend here, so it's not over and done with or anything. And now he can create an outside passed pawn. And create a outside passed pawn, he does. So we're going to keep it a bit simple here, just to make sure I can manage the clock equation as well. Sometimes you've got to liquidate favorably to handle the clock. Nobody likes to talk about that in this line of work, but it's a key part of the whole equation. It's a totally even position, I guess. Let's see if he goes for the trade. It's a totally even position. No, he's not going for it. So he's offering to try to win a pawn in exchange for, well, basically it's a position that he can't lose, and well, even I can't lose because he only has a bishop. So it's a draw. Good game, good game. Let's have a review. It was an interesting game. It had some character. Let's have a look. Won't say it was a precise opening, but it had character. Yeah, I mean, I know knight g5 is not optimal. I know that. Don't tell me I didn't say that during the game. I did. But you know what? I saw all of this, but I did not see that knight bd7 would be the way. I'll assume he would just play this, but I guess the point is then h4 comes very effortlessly, and maybe that poses enough questions. Okay. So here as well, like I know this is not optimal, but I went with that idea and now I'm going through with it. This was okay. Queen there. Why is that better? Why is that better? I don't know. I thought queen d3. Yeah, it was superficial. I said like the square is defended, so it was a bit superficial. I admit that. And then I was like not taking what I could take. So he started to develop good momentum here, and this is when we changed our tactics. We changed our strategy. We went for simplification. He allowed us to, but we still made the choice to do it. This is an interesting period of the game. A lot of maneuvering, and we got ourselves a favorable setup here. But that was not optimal. I should have already offered the trade of rooks. I didn't do it because I wouldn't be able to capture back with this rook. That's why I didn't do it. But maybe I was mistaken in that assumption. In retrospect, I would have probably been better off with a different setup. I'm not sure. Like, this is also not an easy position to play necessarily. Okay. Yeah, this is also a bit iffy, wasn't it, f4? We tried to come in here, but at this point I was very optimistic on my odds, and I think I was right for being optimistic, but I didn't play the right follow-up. This move here is the problem. Oh, shit. How could I not have understood that basic understanding? Like, this is inviting him to create the outside passed pawn easily. Like, hey, you want an outside passed pawn? Here you go. If I didn't, now, the way I was thinking, oh, he's got 2 pawns, he's got the outside passed pawn, so he's eventually going to get that anyway. But that's not true, because this one is so advanced that if he comes here, well, then he can't really go any further. He's just blocked. And that's what I needed to exploit, that fact, and just slowly make progress over here. But instead, I allowed him to get into this setup, and then that's why I felt like I needed to already start taking action. Yeah. And here, did I have a simplification option? This is all optimal, I guess. Yeah. So it was just simply. Okay. Good game. Thank you.